The winter has come. Snow and ice cover nature and man-made structures and roads. Temperature is plummeting below 0 degrees. As we end the motorcycling season, it's time to look back on the incredible journeys and adventures we have gone on. And push the motorcycle to its winter hibernation nest and throw a dust cover over it. Bye for now, and see you after a few months. No, the riding season is not finished. On the contrary, it continues forever. I've made this short series about winter riding. I've divided them into 2 parts, covering different aspects. In this first video, I explain what to consider when preparing your motorcycle. The most important thing to consider is safety. If you are riding in the middle of other traffic, your motorcycle must be in a condition that makes it safe to ride. There are many risk factors in winter, but the most important is slippery roads. You need to be able to steer your motorcycle and stop if necessary, even for short distances. I need to put studded tires on my motorcycle to deal with this bigger risk factor. I don't have any, so I've decided to do it myself. It's not too difficult, but as you'll see in a moment, there are a few important details to know before buying the necessary supplies. First, let me tell you a bit about studs. There are 2 types of studs, threaded studs and studs that are shot into the tire. Functionally, there is not much difference, but the threaded ones cost many times more. The good thing about them is that they can be easily rotated out of the tire and used later again. Then the tire can be used without studs, for example in summer. Tire shops shoot studs because they are cheaper. In my opinion, the only weakness of shooting studs is that they require a special stud gun to attach them. So, all you need is a tire, studs, a drill bit and a stud gun. The tire should be one with a deep pattern. It's easy to fit more than one stud in a block, and the rough pattern makes it easier to drive in snow. You need 150 to 350 studs per tire. The drill bit is made for drilling rubber. An ordinary bit for metal or wood is unsuitable. You also need a marking pen. Start by marking the position of the studs on the tire. This makes drilling an easy and simple serial job. The studs should be placed in an irregular pattern so that there is no next stud in the same line in front of each stud. This way, the stud always bites into a new point on the ice surface. However, the studs should be positioned so that they are evenly distributed across the tire surface to avoid imbalances in the tire. At this point, I need to say that the studding and stud pattern must be appropriate for where the motorcycle is to be ridden. If the ride is on ice or snowy roads, off-road, the studs can be longer. But if, for example, you are riding a heavy adventure enduro bike for long distances on a dry tarmac road, the studs should be shorter to make them last. Also, check what the road traffic regulations in your country say about studded tires on motorcycles. The drill bit is made for drilling rubber. It has a cutting blade that removes rubber by chipping. The bit must also have a stopper, which is set to the desired depth. The drilling itself is a simple operation. You should make sure that the hole is perpendicular to the surface. This way the stud will sink vertically into the hole and hold better. If you ride a studded tire a lot on the ice and hard-packed snow, and the tire will also slide a lot laterally, you will need to use glue to fix the studs. Loctite 480, for example, is a good glue, and you can use a syringe needle to help. Each hole only needs a few small drops of glue. I don't use glue on my Ural sidecar tires because most of the riding is in variable conditions and the tire will roll on the road. A stud gun is a simple device. It runs on compressed air from a normal compressor. It's fed with one or more studs at a time. The tip is dual function. It is inserted into the hole to the correct depth and the metal prongs expand the hole, while a central rod from the rear pushes the stud into the hole. Then you just repeat the same motion 300 times. Then I needed to replace the summer tires I had in place with new studded tires I had just made. The ideal situation would be to have separate rims for summer tires and winter tires. That would make a replacement job much easier. I can't afford to buy second rims, they cost an awful lot. So I'll have to do the same thing in the spring when the studded tires are no longer needed. Well, now I've covered the most important winter riding issue, studded tires. Now it should be safe to ride a motorcycle on any kind of surface. But there are other things almost as important. You need to make sure that your motorcycle is in good condition. It should have fresh oil, that's winter grade, or at least the recommended range of oil should cover the temperatures you ride in. The battery should be in good working order, and as a safety precaution, you can take along a jump starter. The motorcycle lights should be in good condition and of good quality. If possible, you can install additional lights as they will bring more distance to see. You can also use electrically heated riding gear, and if power is taken from the battery, you will need a fused connection lead. There are two more important pieces of gear: grip heaters and handlebar mittens or muffs. You know, hippo hands. There's a full installation video on my channel about grip heaters. Mittens are an old invention, but they prevent the wind from getting on your hands and you can use significantly thinner riding gloves with them. With all these important things in place, you already have half of what you need to ride safely in winter. In the following video, I'll go through the gear I wear when I ride in winter. See you then!